Good morning, everybody. AJ here. Thank you so much for stopping by. I think we got everything working today. Tested it a couple of times, and for whatever reason, my web presenter and ATEM are still caching. So I think I'm going to have to run a new line directly from my switch that's over here. I think it's some routing issues. But anyway, I hope y'all are doing well. Let me unmute myself for half a second. All right, audio sounding fine. So that's good. I actually was going to use my headset that you've probably seen me use a couple of times already. I stole the idea from Monty. See you on here, Monty. This is the Rode H2 that I was using, but for whatever reason, I was getting a lot of static on it. Never know. I might still play with it. Hold on. And it is connected to the Rode Wireless here. So let's go ahead and turn that on. Gives me some freedom here. Let me know how this sounds, because I'm going to switch over to this. I want to see what y'all think about this. I still have this on so I can hear myself. All right. So now this is solely coming from this. How does that sound, folks? I'm looking at the chat, so let me know if I need to switch it out, and hopefully I don't get tangled up in all these cables. But anyway, thank y'all so much for stopping by. We try and have this every Friday to try and answer your questions. Again, folks, I don't know everything, but I try and share what I can, at least glean some direction that can hopefully help you get your stuff solved as best as possible. And that's what we're here for. So thank you so much. We got a bunch of people in the chat. Please, if you don't mind, and let me get my pedal over here, don't forget to go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell notification. That way you don't miss out when we come out with new videos. Folks, I have been thankfully busy. I haven't been able to put out as many videos as I really want to, just because like yesterday, what was yesterday, Wednesday, left out at like 5 a.m., went up to Queens, helped out Blanche Memorial out there, then came right back. I was out. I normally do not sleep very long, but I didn't get out of bed until 1:30, which is rare for me. But anyway, I'm seeing everything is going well. So let's go through this real quick. Cares of the Covenant. Hello, Keith. Hello, Parker. Hello. Case Abbas, sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Hello, Jason M. Hello, Mike, Mousy, Philip Paul, John Cook, Guero, sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Hello, Rodney Johnson. Hello, Monty, Darius, Bert, Jackie, Mitroy. Hello, all. Thank you all for joining. Brian, 24 days, man. 24 days, and I'm so ready to go on this vacation. Got another Keith here. Tangela Brown, hello. Robert Moore, Dean, Prophetess, Ovi Emmanuel, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, from the UK. Hey, thank you so much for stopping by. Live production tips and tools, and Philip Paul. You said the sound is low. I was changing. How's the sound? All right, a bunch of people said it sounds good. Awesome. So thank you so much. So let's go ahead and get into it, folks. I've been playing around with a lot of Mid-Journey. I messed with my pastor and everything. We were doing some other stuff on the fly. I've been playing around with some other stuff here. So if I cut over, this is some of the stuff that I've been playing around with, just putting in different text. You'll see this one. This is the one I just did recently with a video I posted for Zoom. These were some other examples that it gave, and it tells you the text that I was typing in. I thought this was interesting. I just typed in ultra realistic church band. So that was kind of unique that it just made that on the fly. And then I had something else right here. I was putting in some stuff for my daughter because she's gonna be with me for spring break, so we're gonna have some fun. So ultra realistic, beautiful, full body black woman in a blue and gold gown. That's serious. You see her hands is messed up, is twisted backwards. She ain't a Q or nothing like that, but um, really interesting. So hopefully my daughter will have fun playing around with this. I did get the yearly, the monthly, so I'm paying $10 a month. This is one that I made in the middle of my pastor preaching, and this one was really, why is it not letting me open it? But that was really cool. And it cut her off for whatever reason. It was talking about the woman with the issue, where the sermon was about cat he without sin cast the first stone. So that was kind of really cool. So again, playing around with a lot of cool stuff, folks. So anyway, let's see. I'm trying to stall for some questions here. But here's Carriers of the Covenant. Good morning, AJ and family. AJ, what was the AI app that wrote the mission statement a couple QAs ago? That was Chat GPT. That's what that was. And if we go back, they were doing some updates on it. So if we cut back over here, so we're back over here. So I can say, write a church media ministry mission statement at blah blah blah. Our media ministry commission leveraging the power of technology and media and spread the message of Jesus Christ to the world. Our mission is to create an A. It's almost like that was being stolen from a book, but hey, that's really cool. So that's what that was. So hopefully that helps. Again, that is free. You got to be patient. Sometimes a lot of people, more information is getting out there, more people are getting on it. So just be patient if you haven't been able to get into it. But it is really cool. Let's see. John, thank you so much. John is going to be on the cruise as well too. John, are y'all counting down the days? Are you already packed? I am. The only thing I'm not packed is for my formal wear, and I'm waiting for my friend who's coming with me, and got to make sure we match and stuff like that. So I like taking people who haven't been on a cruise before. So normally I rotate through my friends. If there's anybody available, hey, they get a chance to come along. So we got some folks in from Portugal. Thank you so much for stopping by. All right, Rodney. Get. There we go. There we go. Hey, Mike. The plan is not to always do a cruise. I am looking at doing kind of like a resort, and I don't want it to always be on the East Coast. I mean, I like to travel, so want to give different options for everybody. And then also ready for Easter week. Man, it's so much work. So thankfully, I haven't heard anything, but we got a whole bunch of like text messages, which I can't stand. But hey, can't always have everything my way, but I need to read through all of them. Yeah, I'm a teacher, so I'm in spring break. Yeah, my daughter's gonna be with me, so we got plans. I don't have a lot of stuff going on. I got like maybe 2 consultations, and the rest of the week I have blocked out. We're gonna either go to King's Dominion, some type of theme park, and just spoil up on the little one. So that's what we got going on. John was saying here, I'm blessed because I was exposed to COVID by one of my assistants last Saturday. Had a bit of a scratchy throat and very light runny nose. Symptoms Monday, but it never developed into COVID. Well, that is outstanding. Um, Also, wise words. Side note, if you're feeling sick, stay home. We can run the stream without you. Almost jeopardize the entire team. And we have a big youth rally that started yesterday. Praise God, he protected us. That is great. Let's see. This one. And then John was also saying, I would be quite upset if it was just before the cruise and came down with it because of exposure. Man, yeah, exactly. Prophet is here. I want to say a big thank you. Your videos have been helpful to me. I pastor a church in the UK. Awesome. I am glad everything that I'm doing here has actually helped, you know? Brian was saying, yep, 2 4. Jackie here. This question might have been answered already, but how do you handle wanting to use documentaries or music in sermons, considering copyright issues? My pastor had the same thing. What I do is first, this is why I always, and this is another video we're going to be working on that I've told a bunch of people. I just haven't had a chance to sit down. It's called Developing the Standard. And it's going to be a very long series of me talking about how, if I was sitting down with you, your ministry, how I would develop a media ministry in my mindset, which is also going to be written out in the book. That is still coming along, folks. But first, how I would handle that. First, you need to make sure that you get stuff in a timely fashion, at least 5 days at minimum, so that you have enough time. So my pastor found this one video that he wanted to use in his sermon, and thankfully, I didn't have enough time to really, as much time as I would like, but thankfully the people who have it responded quickly. I found the owner of the video. Then I've reached out to them under their about page, which is important, why you need to have stuff filled out in your about page so people can contact you. I was able to email them saying, hey, my pastor wants to use this version of this video in his sermon. Do I have your permission? That written permission is, if you get hit with anything, have that person's name, all that documentation. That's what you put in the license to say that you have permission from somebody else to use it, and boom, you're good to go. That's what you would do with any type of video. If it is a Creative Commons, you do not have to do that, because Creative Commons is pretty much wiping that. So if I cut over here, and when you're doing your search, so say I'm looking for, I don't know, Tesla. I'll just look up Tesla. So when I do the search, what I want to do is come up here to filters, and then I want to come over to Creative Commons. Now, anything under Creative Commons, they've waived the rights so that you can use it in any way that you want. You can't just copy it and claim it as yours, but you don't have to get permissions. That's what Creative Commons is for. So you got to be careful with that. The same thing works with like Google when you're searching for stuff like that. What is this? Get out of here. I can say Tesla Model Y and say I want to come over here to images. See, and then you can come over here to tools and usage rights. I want to change this to Creative Commons, and you also have commercial with license, meaning that you can use it for commercial applications. So if I do Creative Commons, I can come in here and use any of these images. They've waived the rights that you can use them. So I don't know why this has licensable, but that will filter. So in my case, I would make sure, reach out to the people that own it, do anything like that. So actually, let me cut back over here. So if I came to this, say I want to use this guy's video, I would come over here, go to the about, and then that's where you got to make sure that this is where you get that person's information. Please, ministries, fill this stuff out, so that way people can contact you. And that's for anybody that has any type of page. And make sure it's not, well, I'll talk about that later, but that's how I would do that. Mike Jones. Good morning, AJ. We just recently added 3 TVs to the sanctuary. Currently have the TV showing what I produce online. I just purchased the Presenter Pro Plus plan because I want to show different stuff on the front monitors and switch back to the live feed. I watched a few of your videos and I'm still having issues on how to implement it. I have the A10 Mini, but I am using StreamYard for streaming. Okay, so in your setup, if you're using Presenter, not Pro Presenter, but Presenter to do that, let's open up my tools here. Come on, full screen. Full screen, thank you. So we come over here and you're using Presenter, so computer. So we'll say this is Presenter. Now, if you want to do different displays, there are multiple ways to do this. So you're saying you have the A10 Mini, but you're using StreamYard. Is StreamYard on the same computer? Let me know. I would assume it might be or it might not be. So I'm going to do both. So let's say you have a completely different system and you have the feed from your Presenter PC is one of the lines in, and you know, we got to add, we'll just add one camera to make it easy. We got one camera here going into the ATEM. And then, I'm not going to do the line for audio, but we'll say this is connected to the computer over USB, and this is StreamYard PC. So your question is, you have some televisions, and you want to know how we would display that information inside the sanctuary. You want to switch back and forth. Now, if you have the ATEM Mini, not the Pro, but the Mini, you can set different outputs to where they're locked. So you can say that HDMI out is always going to be input number 1, always input number 2. And sometimes, if you ever notice the video, I'm in a habit of looking right here instead of the lens. So if you ever see my eyes off, it's just out of habit. It's actually a light right above here. So anyway, I don't know why that jumped out. But you have this HDMI out here, and you can address this and say right now it's program. Now, if you want to have different screens, with Presenter, you actually have to have physical outputs to connect to it. So you can have this being full screen. Ooh, excuse me. And then you have another output connected, and you can say this is lower thirds. So you could come in here and say, if you want this to always show the same thing, you can change this from program to say HDMI input 1. And that will be full screen. That would be the only thing that shows here. And then whenever you want to change it, you have to change what the HDMI output would be. So like here, if I go into my ATEM, we have outputs. You see right now, I have program, but then I can pick and lock it to whatever output. And if you ever want to change it to where, say, oh, I only want to show full screen scripture, you can do that. The ATEM can still do other stuff. The program is going to be something completely different. So you can be switching the camera input 1, 2, 3, 4, but the HDMI out is always going to be locked to whatever you pick. So that's how you can show 2 different things. That's how I would do that. But, and especially if you said you want to switch back and forth, that's how I would do that. And now that I think about it, yeah, that's how I do it. But let me know if I'm off base on your setup, and get as best as we possibly can to get you straight with that. HS Audio and JStyle3, hello. Good morning, AJ. Do you use a template for color correction when you edit your videos? No, I actually do the lazy man's approach. I use DaVinci Resolve to do that. It's like a one button press for me. And again, color correction, lighting are like things, EQing sound are things that I'm still working on. So I am not a master of that, but I'll show you exactly how I do my stuff. So if we cut back over here, using the DaVinci Resolve, let me open up like this Zoom video that I did last night. Let me switch this back to single screen so you can see everything. So here's my video of what I do editing this whole thing. Most of the time I record it straight and I just cut out the flubs. This is the audio I pulled from my Mac, and I muted the audio that I recorded so you can hear the audio coming from the Mac. And there's my text and stuff like that. But for me, what I come over here and do, I come over here to color. I find a clip of me right here, and I just press this. I can do white balance by clicking on something. So like right here, I'll get the white off my shirt, and it adjusted. You didn't see that much because it didn't do much of anything. Or I can hit this auto balance. Give it a second. And see, now it adjusted that, and it is drastically different. And if I want to copy that across, now I've already chopped this video up. Technically, I click on the next clip, and then I middle mouse click the clip that already is edited, and then it just copies those settings over. So I don't have to do it. So I did not do this because I was almost half asleep when I did this. So you can see a significant change in color by me doing that. See, now that gets way too dark. So that's why I wouldn't have done it on this one. But that's honestly the type of balancing that I do. and I don't do it all the time. It's just if I have very bad lighting or bad lights are coming in through the day, through the windows, that's what I would do. Back to Mike. I also am using the USB 3.0 to 4x HDMI adapter so I can show different monitor options. Okay, so I think still how I describe that is how I would do that. Change it back to the vacation mode. John says, I'm a last minute packer. I hate packing. Hopefully it'll be easier as this is my second cruise. I haven't started counting down yet. Dean, hey, AJ, I'm planning on getting the new Studio 4K G2. I'm excited because of the remote streaming of the camera feed to a streaming bridge, going to test it from Arlington here to awesome. Let me know how that goes. That's really cool. Restoration Church, hey, for the same specifications, is laptop or desktop better for streaming? I say desktop because it can grow and change as things change. You're not going to be able to upgrade outside of memory and hard drive with a laptop. You have a desktop, you can add whatever parts that you need. It's like the ship of Odysseus, or the one where the purpose is still the same, but you keep changing the piece. But I would say a desktop, just because it gives you time to grow. Awesome. Everybody's saying they like the sound from this. So it's really light too. So really cool. It's expensive. This is the most expensive microphone that I bought. But hey, let's see. Newton G. Good morning, AJ. I have an A10 Mini Pro and I want to use my Rode Pod mic, which I believe is a dynamic microphone. How do I connect it to a 3.5? Let's see. Yeah, because it doesn't need power. So in something like this, you're gonna need to convert this down to a 3.5. So a female connected XLR needs to be converted down to a 3.5. And honestly, I've never tried to do that. Connected to see if that works. I don't have that type of cable to try and connect that, but I'm gonna have to circle back. I also have the Zoom H6. Should I use it instead? I would honestly go with the Zoom H6, because doesn't the Zoom H6 has an XLR connection, and then you can just have the connection from the Zoom come out and go into the ATEM. I would do that because again, I haven't tested it. In theory, it should work. But again, I haven't tested it, so I'd rather test it before I can say yay or nay. Grenier, hi AJ, we're using the A10 Mini Pro. Is there a way of switching the output to see the live stream output in-house using a switch or a splitter? To see the live stream output in the house using, yes. If you're using the A10 Mini Pro, which I all right. So here, this is the A10 Mini Pro ISO, but on the back of this, you are limited to your outputs. You only have one HDMI out, and that's either going to be program, or it's going to be the multi-view. So like in my setup right now, I have the multi-view coming over here, so that's the way you're able to see that. Let's move this up some. So that's what you're seeing. I'm seeing that, but I'm sending the full, and that's what y'all are seeing. So when you have the A10 Mini Pro, you don't have that option. Either you have to press multi-view or full screen. Now, are you using the multi-view? Because if you are, the only way that I found to be able to do that is you have to take the the USB out, which is always going to be programmed. Send that to like OBS or something like that, and then let that have that computer give you a output that's going to the sanctuary. And I'm actually doing that same thing right now. And hopefully I'm not in the way so you can see this. So like right now, I have the output going to this screen right here so that I can see what's going on, the comments and everything, so it's easier for me to read. So that's what I'm doing here. So this is going to my streaming system. I have a secondary output that is outputting the full screen to this. So my computer is taking the ATEM from USB and turning it into that. So if we cut over to my desktop, we can sit here and show you. Let me take this comment down and let's minimize this. So if I open up OBS, because I am connected to this computer, love the Extreme because it has two USB outs. So if I open this up, and we're going to have this going on into infinity because of what's going on. So in here, what I would do is have whatever output, and this is going to go crazy because of what I'm picking. All right, so just be patient with this. So in theory, I would have this, my ATEM is connected over USB, and then in OBS, vMix does the same thing. That's what I'm using that I just showed you. I would right click on this and do full screen projection, and I would pick whatever output. So if I pick this one, all right, you can't see the difference, but if I go to number 4, it's going to do this because it's looping back on itself. That's the output that's showing. I can't show you at the same time, or can I? No, I can't because of the way my stuff is set up. But that's what would go out to another screen. So I hope that makes sense. I don't have all the stuff and set up in a way that I could show it. Oh, I keep hitting the wrong button. It will loop back on itself. I had a bunch of people ask me, why you got all that stuff in your studio? You got blah, 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 or whatever. And I'm like, dude, everything that I have here was built for a purpose because y'all ask questions. And then sometimes y'all ask questions in a unique way that I don't have the stuff or a way to set up. Like recording that Zoom video and setting the audio was a nightmare to try and record the audio right because of I'm trying to record the audio, but I can't record the audio because it's including the audio of from the source that I'm trying to record. Man, yeah. So it was interesting. But anyway, I hope that helps. Miriam, would you recommend making a sermon only and full service video or just a sermon only on YouTube? It all depends. What I've been trying to do is we stream the entire service, but I am working towards where we just record the sermon on the ATEM. So we're still streaming, and we can record from the ATEM on OBS or on Vimeo, Facebook, YouTube. All of those are recording the session. The main thing is I wanted to get it to where I don't have to edit that much, but that's just me. It depends on you. I let your audience, the congregation, determine what you want to do. I don't think there's any right or wrong to it. You just got to be mindful of that you not playing stuff that you don't own, or if you are playing stuff, make sure that you know where everything has come from. So if anybody try to hit you with some stuff, you can be prepared. Like I got hit for a video I did 4 years ago, and some clown is trying to claim that they had the music, and I'm like, no, it was Creative Commons, but a video from 4 years ago, it was like background music that I used when I was building my PC, and some person with 2 subscribers claimed that that was their song. I just replaced the song. Just be mindful of stuff like that. You got to be prepared for. J Style 3. When it comes to licensing, we always put both the CCLI and CVLI as an overlay during the stream in the corner, and again, both of them in the YouTube description. Yeah, that's good, but again, some of these folks, they just don't care. They get hit with a lot of stuff, and I'm hearing, I mean, it's just crazy that people just want to mess the party up. I've seen that there's different, I'm not going to talk about it, but people have been able to um, exploit certain stuff and like lay claim to, I mean, YouTube and Facebook have their system of reporting stuff is very much flawed. Like you can go in and claim anything and you don't have to verify that you own anything, and it's allowing people to exploit it. So you it stinks, but if you're playing in the sandpit that's not yours, you have to abide by the rules, as messed up as the rules are. But I just need y'all to be very mindful of that. Restoration, I would say no, do not get all-in-one PCs because they're doing it from a simplicity approach, but they don't have the same dimensions and sizes to where you can go back to a store, Amazon, Newegg, Best Buy, whatever that's available, and replace parts. Their all-in-one PC is just a laptop with a big screen. That's really all it is. Mike, I like Motion Worship. Their stuff is good, and they allow their stuff to be used in other work. Awesome, awesome. All right, got some other folks. Francisco, what's going on? Francisco was nearby. We weren't able to catch up. Hope everything that y'all had going on in Charlottesville was good. Back to Miriam. I'm adding 2 TVs to show presentation for the front of the church. Do I need to run a 300-foot HDMI from the tech booth to the front? Can I use Ethernet or wireless? I'm using Proclaim. It all depends. You can go either one. I wouldn't go HDMI with 300 feet. Fiber optic HDMI cable can go that distance. I haven't tested it. The most I've done is 200 without an issue. If you really need to go 300, you could get something like this HD base T converter that I use. This one can go up to, it's a completely different protocol, and it does do Ethernet, but it's a completely different protocol. So you can't plug this into a router or a switch or anything, but this is rated for like 500 feet. So you could connect a HDMI in from whatever, from the PC into this, run this cable, and then put another one in and then have it split. So this output, have it go to a splitter and go to 2. So you only need 1. If the TVs are going to both show the same thing all the time, you could do something like that. You could run a long SDI cable and go from HDMI to SDI and then convert it back from, and that's the same adapter. I thought I had another one around here. Yeah, these are both the same. I thought I had an SDI to HDMI. Oh, it's right there. No, these are all 3 the same. I have 3 HDMI to SDIs. I thought I had an SDI to HDMI. Oh well. But you could do that and split it the same way. It doesn't really matter. Whichever one financially fine for you. But I would not go with HDMI, a pure HDMI 300 feet. They don't make one unless you go with a fiber optic one. But again, I personally have not tested anything longer than that. Longer than 200 feet. Back to Dean. AJ, I think AJ had it on a PC. I was planning on getting. Yeah, that mini Ryzen one is a very good system. That could be a miniature streaming system because it's more than enough power to do that. But you can't. Everything has to be either NDI or USB capture card. You can't. I mean, you can add memory in a hard drive, but again, you can't change anything. It's the same thing as a laptop. The balance, like the name. Hey AJ, what would be the easiest setup to display your A10 mini feed in the projector? A fiber optic HDMI cable from the A10 mini Pro directly to the projector if it supports it. That would be the simplest because you don't need no converters, no nothing. Christopher, please pray for me and my team. It's Easter and my doctor is getting me in to remove my gallbladder as I have many and some are too big. A girl who manages live stream just left us. Oh man. Well, pray for you there, Christopher, that everything first is going to be, God, thank you so much right now. We just asked you to touch Christopher. You know his needs. You know you've got him in the palm of your hand. You know every hair on his head before he was born. Father, you just meet him at his needs right now when it comes from a physical, comes from his role that he has for serving you. We just pray for your anointing to flow over him, charge your ministering angels to watch over him, keep him safe from all hurt, harm, and danger, and give him the desires of his heart to make sure that the mission that he has, that you've given him, it moves forward. So we just thank you and love you and call it done. In Jesus' name, amen. So, Christopher, hopefully we know that it's going to be done. So let us know the victory when you come out of that. So, RC, switching to ProPresenter soon. Is it better to stream from ProPresenter or your A10? Best way to get video into ProPresenter or lower thirds into A10 based on the first answer. I would not stream with ProPresenter. Let ProPresenter just do ProPresenter stuff, present stuff. Now, it's 2 ways. I've done this at Spring Creek. ProPresenter can accept video in over USB. So connect USB to the same computer and then you can set an audio feed inside of ProPresenter. So like for example, let me open up my ProPresenter. It's like every update ProPresenter comes out, I just download the 7.13. It's getting slower and slower and slower to start up. All right, so, excuse me. So inside of here, so they added all this new stuff. Wasn't interested in it. But anyway, you can come over here to video input in ProPresenter. I have disconnected the same computer connected to the ATEM. So we can come in here and add a new input configuration. And I want this to be my ATEM. And see, there you go. So I'll just say this is my ATEM. And if I ever wanted to have this as an input, and why did it not add it? Oh, you just gotta love that. Oh, there it goes. All right, so I can easily come here and then boom, just by clicking that, now we're able to, whatever presenter is going connected to, it could show. Don't loop it on itself, because that was that green stuff that you saw me do. If I did that, you can't have it project itself onto itself, because then it's recording itself over, and that's why you started seeing my stuff go green, because it's looping back on itself. That's the first thing. And let me go back to your question, because I forgot it that quick. And then how to add it. And then the other thing, what you could do is multiple outputs. So like for me, I only have one output going to my ATEM right now, but we can do multiple. So inside of here, in my settings, I can go to my screens. And as you can see, I have my, which one is which? Yeah, that's what the screen is right now. That's my regular output. But I could set something, have another output being the lower thirds or something like that. So like in my church, and I can do this with like, you can make it a digital screen. Yeah, so that's NDI. So if I had another one of these other monitors available, which I actually do, I can use this one. But y'all can't see it. Again, one of those samples that I can't demo everything the way I wanted to. But anyway, I would pick another one of these and have this other input being connected to your ATEM. So the full screen would be like input number 2, lower thirds would be input number 3, and then you would use number 3 linked to a DSK. So I can come in here and have my DSK to always be linked to this, to that monitor. That's going to be lower thirds, and then another one. So like right now I have center screen. Actually, I can do this. Yeah, I can. So let's do it this way. I can actually do this here. So I'm going to change this back to this monitor. Wrong monitor. It's this one. All right, so I'd switch it to this one. And of course, it went blank because, again, I'm using this screen for this. And then I would change my quote-unquote entrance TV to this one. So both of these inputs are coming in. So say, and we talked about it, we have lower thirds. And where am I at? All right, so our looks. So I need to go edit my looks. So when I do lower thirds, I want to say my entrance TV is always going to put everything in a lower third format, which would be this. I don't want to show announcements, don't want to show props, don't want to show messages, don't want to show slides, don't want to show media, don't want to show video input. That's when it's on lower thirds, all right? So if I come over here to this scripture, boom, and then we put it like this. All right, so if I turn this on and y'all are seeing input number 3, if I switch over to that, that's what that input to the ATEM is. But if I go over to the other one, wait a minute, my looks is messed up. What did I miss? Entrance TV. Yeah, it wouldn't be media. There it goes. All right. So again, if we cut back over here to input number 3, that's full screen. But if I go to input number 4, which is set to be formatted to be in a lower third format, it's like that. So that's how and those two inputs would go in. So now, since both of them are in my system, I can come in here now and say, hey, I want to do my DSK. So if I turn that on, that's how you're getting this. But inside the sanctuary, everybody would still see it full screen. Hopefully that makes sense. I have a video that breaks that whole thing down, but that's how I would do that. You have to have, your computer has to be able to support multiple outputs, especially if you're trying to physically connect them to the ATEM and have each output do something different. One is either full screen, one is lower third. Never pick that third one, because that one is formatted to always be in a lower third configuration. But then that other one is always going to be full screen. So hopefully that makes sense for you. And let me close this out. And I will leave this open because I have a habit of closing stuff and then I see another question that comes up. We answered that. Hey, you are welcome. And I had some other people follow back up saying that some of that did not work. And again, I need y'all to vet a lot of the stuff. That worked for me, and I worked for a couple of churches I gave that to. But again, the software is changing. But the other thing is that the thing that got me was that setting for musicians, it didn't change anything. So I think programmatically there's an issue. But that's just me. I have no way to vet all that. Arthur, great name. I need a PTZ tripod, but I don't know where I can buy it. Amazon, honestly, you just need to find the PTZs are not heavy. My PTZ is actually lighter than my camcorder, so any good one is what I would do. And I actually have a link under my kit for me. And I need to update this with my current stuff because we've added some extra gadgets and doodads here. There is a studio one that I need to update. It's normally in my description of the video. Actually, let's do that. Let me give me a direct link to it instead. So typically, if we look at what we're doing right now, if I go here, and it should be, yeah, my current gear. So this is kind of my current setup. I need to update that. I don't use that camera anymore. I sold that one, but I do have 2 other ones. That's my rolling one, and these are kind of the ones that I've bounced around. And where is that other one? I'm missing one of these. Oh, one of them broke. This is the one that I'm using that I have upstairs. Really good ones, but again, I needed something that was stable because this is was going for me outside. So yeah, that might be pricey, but again, it's rock solid. But then there are other ones that you can get as well too. So I mean, I have my other tripod that I used was like $45. So any one of those would work. But I do like this because this gave me the height that I need. This can get really, really tall, over 6 feet. So I can be above everybody with something like this. So again, that's when I bought it, March 3rd, 2021. Dean, I am using the Rode H2. That is what I'm using with this. That is because that's one of the things I need to add into some of the stuff that I've changed. So that mic is right here. Like I said, this is the most expensive mic that I've ever bought, but it's pretty good. It's dainty. I need a case or something to put it in here because it's like I'm very cautious of all the stuff I got here. I don't want nothing to break on here, but this is the one that I use. Really, really, really liking it. And y'all said the audio is sounding good. So I will put that here. Rode H2 headset. put that in the comments there for you. And from Wayo, hey, how you doing, man? Haven't talked to you in a minute. Hey, I had asked you about ideas on helping attendees with hearing challenges during a service, and I found something, Listen Everywhere, which is a Wi-Fi audio-based broadcast with low latency. Also, Mike was talking about something in the Facebook chat too, about something that y'all use. Mike, if you can put a link into that, I appreciate that as well too. And the lady who keeps everything in this thing straight, which I'm beyond thankful for, Miss D, what's going on? Do you all ask for a certain amount of tech knowledge for volunteers in the media? I personally don't. I ask for, you know, ambition, willingness to learn, willing to listen, and just a desire. That's the main thing. Because a lot of the stuff that we do, I could be wrong when I say this. If they were interested in the stuff that we do, they will most likely already be a part of it if they knew about it. But no, I don't really ask about that. I'm willing to teach that as well. And again, I'm seeing everybody helping each other out, which is always a great thing. Much appreciated. MA16v3. How easy is it to merge two different macro XML files for the ATEM switchers? An OG ATEM Mini was gifted to the church, is coming back to us, and I want to use it as a test bed for macros. Pretty easy. You would just extract it through the settings, and then you just load it. Really straightforward. Parker, remind me, what graphics card do you have? I'm planning to get it. The graphics card that I have, I got it on I finished up a project and I decided to splurge because I needed something a little bit more powerful. No, I don't want to go with that. All right, what I am using is the GeForce R. It's the EVGA. I got it when the EVGA has since got burned by NVIDIA, so they're not making graphics cards. I got it as a deal, but it is a RTX 3080 Ti. That is what I am using right now, and my streaming system is using the old RTX 2070 that I had originally. So really, really good cards. Overpriced now. Well, actually, they've come down in price, but still. Hopton Flemings. What are some options to display current time on stage monitors? Also, is there a downside to having a large TV mounted on the front of the sanctuary? I wouldn't say it's a downside to it. And how to display, there are multiple things you could do. I mean, you can get like open up a web page in full screen and put a time clock on there if you want to. There are countdown apps that you can get. Any of the presentation software has a countdown that you can put on that screen for a stage monitor. I've done that a couple of times. Our stage monitor has a clock in the lower left hand that you can customize, and Pro Presenter does the same thing. Either one. There's a downside to having a large TV mounted on the front of the sanctuary. No, the only downside I would say is make sure that light isn't in the way. It's not obstructing anything, and it's not causing a distraction. My mindset is when I go into a church and I'm trying to do TVs, my mindset is wherever I place a TV, I don't want people in the congregation to have to do this. I don't want them to have to do that. I'd rather them just move their eyeballs to be able to see it. So it's not, if it's like, if I have like right now, I have my monitor is right here and another one's right here. So I would look over, yeah, I might turn just because of here, but if I was far enough back, all I would have to do is just turn my eyes. That's just me. But the only distraction is just make sure that if you have windows or light that's coming in, it's not going to lean on the TV, make it difficult to see. That's the only thing I would say. Not even going to try and pronounce your name because I don't want to butcher it. But good day, AJ. What would the experience look like if I connect a 4K camera to an analog SD switcher? You probably won't get an image, to be quite honest. It probably can't process everything that's coming in because it's too high. Because a 4K is about, what, 8 to 12 times higher than, because that Data Video 500 SE is what originally we had at Antioch. That's what we started with. And hooking up anything, you're going to have to downscale it heavily to get it to show up, because it's going to be more data than that system can handle. Dean, the people that make the OBS bot also have a device that takes a USB-C and outputs to HDMI. Yeah, I reached out to them and I never heard back from them at all. OBS bot UVC to HDMI adapter. Yeah, I saw that when somebody brought that up, and I asked about testing it out because I had a lot of churches that were interested. Never heard back from them at all. So, I missed something. I missed the conversation that's going on here. Oh well. Anthony, good morning, AJ and crew. Are you still offering the bundle live streaming package on your website? My church is interested in purchasing one. Yes, it is. I need to actually change it back. I took it as back ordered because I was having some delivery issues, and I reached out to the company, and it wasn't them. It was Amazon that was messing it up. So if you look back at it here in about 15 minutes, they are going to be available again. I limit the stock of how many that I do because that's mainly dependent on the church. I mean, not the church, the company. So yeah, they are back up. I just changed it from being out of stock, so you should be good to go. Just let me know. Yeah, it all depends. It depends. Like I can turn this up a little bit more. So I can turn this up here. I'm just hearing more, so I need to turn my headset down so it's not blowing my ear out. So I'm looking at the monitor. I'm in the middle, almost topping out yellow. So let me know. But thank you for that. Parker, I think I already answered that one. All right, we got a lot of folks helping each other out, which is always good. We got a third Keith here. Hey, AJ, good morning. My question for you. The A10 Mini Extreme has preset streaming destinations. Can you create an XML preset for Zoom that can be one button push to simplify streaming? Yes, you can, but not for Zoom. Zoom is its own platform, so the A10 can't stream to Zoom. Zoom is its own thing, so it's going to take in video maybe or connection over USB. So unless they've changed something that I'm not aware of, you can't stream to Zoom. But you can make XMLs to stream to other stuff. I've done that for Spring Creek, done that here as well too before they started adding Vimeo to their list. I made one for Owncast. So yes, all of that can work, just not for Zoom, to my knowledge. MA16 said the same thing. All-in-one PCs, laptop systems pretending to be a desktop with none of the benefits of the desktop. Yeah. Also want to know, HD base T or SDI is recommended for 300 feet. Yes, I completely agree. And I get to announce this finally. Good morning, Dr. AJ. The doctorate officially is going to be presented to me on May 18th. That's when that is the schools. That's when I'm going to be there, be able to walk, and I'm being given an honorary doctorate in ministry education. So really thankful about that. So it ain't going to be nothing fancy, but yes, it will be. My dad was Reverend Dr. Arthur A. Holmes Sr. Now it's going to be not the Reverend. It's just going to be Dr. Arthur A. Holmes Jr. So very thankful about that. So that's coming up. But anyway, next part. Though it was saying, having an issue with connecting the Stream Deck with vMix. Downloaded the vMix plugin from the Elgato store. However, when I go to the Stream Deck, I don't see it as an option. Any idea? Sure, I will show you exactly how mine is on this because I have the exact same thing set up. So let's cut back over here to the desktop. And to get vMix working on here, I'm going to make a new profile here. And we'll do new. So to get vMix to work with this is kind of interesting. So if you're not seeing vMix here on the side, go here to the little filter here and make sure that vMix is checked off if it's installed. So it should show up that way. And then how vMix works, you need to drag this shortcut icon into every location that you want to use as a button. That's how mine is. And it's crazy. You just have to do it this way first. And then each one of these are now recognized in vMix. So like if I pressed any of these buttons down here, none of it will work. It would only recognize where I've dragged the shortcut. Then you can link it under shortcuts under vMix. So hopefully that helps. And I need to switch this back so that I can actually use my Stream Deck on this one. All right, so we got that. Let's see. Sandra, great morning, AJ. Good to see you. Thanks for all the great, helpful information on media for a piece. And I would tell Ayana hello. She's actually gonna, like I said, I'm gonna see if I can get her to guest show up for next week. She hasn't been on one of our Q&As in a long time. Also, Sandra, that church, I've called them multiple times and left them voicemails. I haven't heard back from them. So please tell them to check their voicemail or call my office number. I've been trying to call them, but I haven't heard nothing back from them. Back to J-Style 3. We have recently updated our sound mixer console to the Wing, also made by Behringer, from our old analog Behringer, but still it is very difficult to have a separate mix for congregation and live stream. Any advice? It's almost the same thing. I've only messed with the Wing twice, so I can't walk you directly through it. I'm gonna need to play around with it to give you some examples of it, but I think it's almost the same type of concept. But let me circle back with you on that one. Let's see, page number 1. What is your suggestion for a reasonable headset for a speaker? It all depends. It's a couple of ones that you can use. I got my pastor a different headset. That's more of a preference for him, but I'll show you the set that I got, and then I changed his headset to match to something that was more comfortable for him. And of course, Amazon is not going to show it. Because, I mean, the whole thing, the original unit, sorry, I'm trying to find it on here. I got it from, let's see, hold on. I'm gonna see if I can find. I got it originally from Guitar Center because I left church because I saw they had like 2 of them available. All right, so this is actually the one. I don't know why this is not showing up on Amazon. Let me try it here because I know everybody doesn't have a Guitar Center. All right, good. There it goes. So this is the one that I got my pastor. This is the setup that I got him, but then we ended up changing the headset to a Countryman. So the Countryman headset itself was almost the same price as this. So something like this, I think will work, or get another simple one that just has a lavalier that you clip onto their shirt, and it's not somebody spitting on it that you got to sanitize and stuff like that. That's what I would think would be a good option. All right. Let's see. Where do we leave off at? All right, Dean, thank you for stopping by. Have a great one. Ewing Avenue Baptist. Good morning, AJ. The problem we're having is a buzzing going on during the live stream on Facebook. I checked and replaced the cables and added a ground loop noise isolator. What are you using to stream? And how is your audio connected to that? And we can walk from there. Rodney, When you state having a second output for ProPresenter, are you referring to having, thank you, Bobby, for subscribing, a second output from ProPresenter, are you referring to having an additional HDMI out on the computer? Yes, that's what mainly I was talking about. So if I go to, if I show you like my graphics card, well, one that's similar. Ooh, good Lord, I know I didn't pay that much for this card. So like if I cut over here to a similar card, this is a similar card that I have, and I did not pay that. No, thank you. But anyway, if I go here and we look at it, see, this has 4 separate outputs. That's how I'm doing that. Like my other one has 5 outputs, but then I would have 2 of these would be registered in ProPresenter to say, oh, this one is full screen, this one is lower thirds, this is for my monitor that I'm seeing. And if you have dual monitors, kind of like mine, I have 2 dual monitors, and then the other 2 outputs are going to my ATEM. That's how that works. So hopefully that makes sense for you. And again, you don't even have to have anything super like that. So like at my church, we have the GTX 1660, and these are pretty decent lower price cards, but they still are more than enough for streaming and more than enough for graphic stuff. So like here, this has 3 outputs. Some of them, I think the 1660 Ti has 5 outputs. And no, that's a knockoff. I don't know who that company is. Let's go to Asus. Let's see what their outputs are. And I hate when they don't show the image. They barely show it here. It has 3 outputs. No, it has 4. It has a DVI, 2 display ports, and then an HDMI. It's horrible how they have it, but you can tell right there. At the top is the HDMI, the bottom is 2 display ports, and then it's a DVI connection. So something like this would work as well too. Let's see. Ralph, excuse me for yawning. My church wants to switch from Easy Worship to ProPresenter. The cost is they want 1,000 for 20 people. What do they mean by no for ProPresenter? No, that's Well, my question is how that's a site license, and you don't necessarily need something like that. So like if we go over here to ProPresenter and we look at the store, let's walk through this because a lot of this is not explained very well. So like this is how much we paid for ours. This is how much I paid for my personal one. The ProPresenter I bought for my company here for demos for AJ the CEO for YouTube. That's how much I paid for. Now, anything else, you're talking about a site license where you pay for this and you can use it in multiple locations. That's your seat. You have to pay for that. Unless you're using ProPresenter at the same time in different locations, that's when you would use something like this. If you only have one sanctuary and they're only going to use this once, that's all you need. Or you can have it installed in 2 places, you just can't use it both at the same time. Say you have a youth church, theirs is at 10 o'clock, regular church is at 11 o'clock, then you don't need 2. So no, it should not be 1,000. It's $399. So hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, not for 20, that would mean they were considering you having 20 people using it at the same time. Hey AJ, can I connect the ATEM Mini Pro USB out to a laptop to get video feed? Yes, that's what you're seeing right now. I have USB out, just going to vMix, and that's what you're seeing. But you can't hook the USB out and hook it up to something else unless you're using like that adapter that Dean was talking about that converts it over to HDMI. I haven't played around with it, but they said it works. But no, you can't use USB out directly to a TV or something like that. Mike was saying back to that, he said the T-Coil was the hearing system that he used at their church that broadcast that out for other folks to hear. NDI is good. You just got to make sure that your network is good, and you it's not a set it and forget it. It's one of those things that depending on the nature and the traffic that's on your network, Sometimes you have to recalibrate to make sure the video and the audio is in sync. And depending on how many cameras you got, you might have to resync it to each device. That's the reason I think it's good in a controlled environment that you really, 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 really know. Like I use NDI here for small stuff. But all of the stuff that you're seeing here, this is all hardwired. But yes, NDI can work. You just got to make sure that the video and audio is in sync, and you might have to change that. And I really don't understand what this chat is going back and forth. Yeah, it was. I'm sorry. I was looking at this and I'm missing the context of it. So, again, thank y'all so much for the congratulations and everything like that. Pat, morning AJ. It's been a while for me. How are you? I can't see one of my cameras in OBS. I have a PTZ. Any idea why it doesn't show up? I'm connected by SDI. SDI directly into a capture card inside the computer, or what is the camera connected to? Um, Again, thank you all for the congrats. Uh, Herman, hey, I'm looking for a solution for projection at my church. Our current projector is too dim. LED wall is totally out of budget. I would go with a laser projector. That's what I changed out at Antioch. Laser projector. You can download an app on your phone, and you're looking for a lumens meter. You want to see how bright the room is, and you need to get a projector that is has lumens higher than the rating of the room. So a laser projector will also save you with the fact that the light quality is not going to, I mean, the laser quality is not going to go down. It's not going to be dim. It has like a 20,000 hour lifespan. These are the ones, actually, no, these are not the ones I installed. This is a 6400 lumen. I wish this one was available because I think at Antioch I installed 5500. So it was about 500 lumens higher than the brightness inside the room, which is not ideal of what I wanted to do, but that's what was available in the budget. This one, something like this, be very, very, very good for that. Again, I don't know the distance and everything. Actually, yeah, this was the 53 is what we got. I thought it was 55. This is the one that I have replaced, 3 of them replaced in Antioch. But this is, if I had it to do again, I would have bumped up the lumens by 1,000. I would have gone to 6,500 or something like that. But I mean, it's fine. Nobody's complaining. But that's what I would use in that type of scenario. You don't have to necessarily do the Sony one. They have a bunch of other laser projectors, but I would go with a laser projector. Now, what I'm working on with another church is a laser TV, and those give you a certain screen. You can go up to 150 inches TV, and this sets like almost 6 inches away from the wall, and you just shoot straight up. Something like that would be cool. If it wasn't for the fact that I rented this place and I can't really hang anything on the walls, I would get one of these personally. I think they're pretty slick, but that's what I would do. Is Restream working with Stream Decks now? No, because Restream is just like a web page, and no, Restream is just a service. So no, there's no way for the Stream Deck to directly talk to that. The Stream Deck is just like this. I can't even lift it up here, but it's like just programmable keys that you can just press. There is no interaction directly with Restream. It's Isaac Doyle. Thanks, sir. Vim isn't showing up on the right side. That's the issue I'm having. On the right side. What do you mean on the right side of your screen? Need a little more detail so I can help you with that. Alrighty. Thank you there, Sandra. Yep, Christopher, same. Great minds think alike. Yep. Um, yeah, that's what I would say. Same way. Rodney, right now it's Pro Presenter only because of what I need it for. Because I need all these extra bells and whistles, and it's a one-time price. Even though they've added this, they've bumped up the yearly fee too. It used to be 60, now it's like 120. I don't know why. Like at this point, I need to let my pastor know that they want to renew. I don't know if we need to, but they do this kind of messed up thing that if you don't renew, if you skip a year and you try to renew it, they charge you a full site license again, which I don't understand why they're doing stuff like that. But I would go with that. For simplicity, I go with Presenter by Worship Tools because just to put up scripture, put up lyrics, put up videos, play everything like that, and you're not doing a stage display at the same time, Worship Tools Presenter is perfectly easy and capable for that, and it doesn't cost you anything. HS Audio, any thoughts on multiple video outputs from the new Mac Mini? I use a DisplayPort link. You're going to have to use an external hub to give you something to give you multiple outputs, unfortunately. That's the hindrance of those Mac Minis. You're limited on how many outputs you can get. G. Albert, AJ, a couple of us on the media team are looking to acquire a PTZ camera, SZXL Com HDMI PTZ camera optical, so they can manage soundboard, camera, and live stream from the booth. Short staffed. The PTZ is about $300. The media team is asking my advice and input. I think they're need a physical or software PTZ controller. Do you agree? Honestly, you'll see that a physical controller ultimately, in my personal opinion, is better than a software one. The software one, I use that if I'm not there and I need to adjust something, so it's good to have that functionality. Now, the AVCAM's camera that I reviewed that has SDI and HDMI, that's about $150 more than that price, which I think as well. I haven't heard of that brand at all, but I mean, I still think a physical controller is good. And I still use the software ones. You can use PTZ Optics one that, as long as it supports the protocol, the camera does. Their free app works with almost any camera, USB one or one physically. So that's what I would think. Great name. Classy Chick TV. What lens do you recommend for a mid-sized church for a crop-sensor DSLR? Something that is wide enough as well as having a good enough zoom. Classic Chick TV, you have reached my kryptonite. I am still learning lenses. There's a lady, Stephanie Davison. She's in our Facebook group. She also has a channel. She knows that stuff inside and out. I would recommend you reach out to her. She actually on my channel, if you look under the E-Missionary Conference, she has a video that talks about that and breaks that down, and hopefully that can help. I couldn't even start to give you suggestions because the lenses that I'm using here, I bought like 12 of them and just hooked them up because I didn't understand anything, and I just kept buying them, seeing if it gave what I want, and then returned them until I got the one that I did. So I am not a good example on that, so I can't help with that. But anybody else that's familiar with that, can y'all give her some input? I would greatly appreciate that. Oh, and I didn't even mention, if I can't get to your question, I'm jumping out here. Y'all can email me at questions@ajhomes.com. Also, the group that I keep talking about is the Facebook group. Just go to Facebook, look up Modern Media Ministry Made Easy, 4ME, for me, if y'all got it. That's there. All you got to do is answer 3 questions. You are automatically entered when you answer those 3 questions. Please read the stuff that you're answering to, because we got Thor's hammer. If you break any of those rules inside the group, we'll drop you like a bad habit from the group. You know, no spamming, no live stream inside the group, no tomfoolery, no John foolery, no Mike foolery, no foolery in any way, shape, or form. So, but you can post that question there, and that's what the group, we're about almost at 3,000 ministries all over the world, and we're there to try and help each other out. Pets. PTZ is connected to the ATEM Mini about 40 feet away through SDI to HDMI converter. Make sure that I don't know which SDI converter you're using. If you're using like a Blackmagic one, make sure that you have a light on both sides. This side will give you power. This one will show you that a signal is coming from the camera. I would say make sure that the power isn't dead. I've used over like 200 of these, and out of 200 of them, I've probably had 2 of them go bad in over 7 years. I would just check, make sure it's the power first. If not, then it might be that. But if you're not seeing the light on either side, if you're not seeing the light on the power side, check that the power is right. If the power is right and it's not lit up on the side where the power cable goes, the adapter is bad. If the power light is on, but it's not on the other side from the signal coming in, then that is, you're not getting a signal from the camera. Philip Paul, hey AJ, how much of your time will you take to set up and pack up? Set up and pack up for what? Oh, for a church service. Um, I, I really don't. Most of the time, church starts at 11. I'm normally there at 9:30. So I'm there so that I have enough time by myself to get everything, and I'm not distracted. And like I have to, I'm trying to be more PC. I'm really a calm, relaxed type of person. Unless you keep pushing, then you can just get on my nerves, and you start to bring back another piece of me. Like, hey, I got a question. Hey, I can't answer your question right now. Look, it's just gonna take. I just said, like, I had people calling, like, how come you didn't answer your phone? I was on a plane. You were on a plane all day. If you called me at 6:30, I was on a plane. You called me at 8:30, I was on a plane coming back. AJ, how come you not answering your phone? Like, bruh, like, please contact my business. Stop calling myself. AJ, block. At that point, now you're not respecting my time. So, side note, this is and I should have copied this over here. I haven't talked about it that much, but again, thank y'all so much for the love and support on the podcast that we've done. Hopefully, y'all are getting some good stuff out of that. As trying to talk about some things that most people can't talk about, but thankfully we're at a point where we can, because we just can. So one of the things, our next one, and I think I saw Anthony on here. I think I'm gonna have him on my other one that's coming up, and that one is going to be interesting. We're going to be talking about this. Is going to be recorded next week. It's going to be talking about abusing church privilege. This one is going to be fun, folks. This is going to be churches being realistic. I'm not going to call out no names. With all the churches, and it's different denominations, colors, creeds, whatever. I've dealt with them all. And there is this stigma of, since we are a church, you should be doing this for God. I am doing it for God, but you need to pay your bill and pay your bill on time. Or you have people in your church that volunteer because they love God and they want to give this. This is their reasonable service. And instead of appreciating what they're doing, you're demanding with a level of expectation that they continue to do something as if they were an employee. No, that's abusing church privilege. You can't use God's word to manipulate people to get something that anywhere else. Like, I've had churches come to me that they were late on bills multiple times, and they're like, "Why'd you charge me a late fee?" Because you're late. Well, we're a church. Okay, then you should have rendered unto Caesar what Caesar's and rendered unto God what God. Pay your stuff on time. Just because you're a church don't mean that you can get around this stuff. Again, abusing church privilege. So that's what we're going to be talking about on that one. And we got some other stuff coming up as well, too. Robert saying LED versus video wall. Technically, they're all the same. It all depends on the format. LED wall is normally a bunch of LEDs and panels that are put on there. Some video walls are like a mesh of an entire TV with a thin bezel linked together. It all depends. It's on the pricing. Video walls, if they're consisting of TVs, don't get TVs off. If you're building one yourself, don't buy them from like a Best Buy or something like that, because video walls that are made with TVs like that, they normally are using commercial grade TVs that have a higher standard on matching colors and everything like that. If you buy the same TV from a store, the colors are not going to match. They just aren't. That's the reason why. So at this point, LED walls are still a little bit more expensive, but they're not as expensive as they used to be. So hopefully that helps. Hi AJ, please have a new church with like 50 people. I have an issue with streaming. Can you suggest a low budget plan, please, for at least a 2-camera angle? Well, I mean, I need to know what your budget is so I can work within those confines, and let me know. We can go from there. Jackie, other than Vimeo, Facebook, and YouTube, which interactive platforms does your church live stream to? We also stream to Twitch. Working on Twitter. Looking at getting back onto Instagram, but really maybe TikTok and Snapchat. I mean, I'm more about just using whatever platform that's available. But right now, even like right now, until my web presenter was acting up, which I think is network related, I normally stream to, at my church and on here, I stream to Facebook, YouTube, our website, and Twitch. That's what I do, and Vimeo. MA16V3. I saw that the A10 Mini Pro ISO is 500, which makes the idea of mobile streaming card rack super enticing. Just need a sound mixer that would be small and wireless mics. Thoughts? I used a small Yamaha board. It was like 5 channels, and that's what I used to use when I was streaming games. And I had everybody going through that, and then had the output going into my ATEM. That's what I used, and I think that board was like $75. I knew it. John said, I found out I did some John foolery this week, but somehow avoided the Thor hammer. Nah, we got you. I saw that one. That one's fine. Mainly, he was talking about, he tagged me in on the Facebook group, and one of the rules is not to tag me. That's really meant for, where that came up from, John, is people were tagging me on some advertising and all this other foolishness and stuff like that. Or they would just tag the daylights out of me and keep asking questions, and I'm just like trying to get my attention of like, no, if you want to get my attention, email me. You don't have to do it like that. That's what that was for. So you're good. Pat, yes, and yes, light is on both sides. Shows up in video controller, just not in OBS. Screen is black in OBS. Is it just for that camera or on all the other ones? Because it could be just the black screen of death that was for OBS, where you have to disconnect it and hook it back up for your video source. That used to be an issue. I don't know if that's still there. Keith, hey AJ, does the AVCam's 30x NDI PTZ have speed control for presets that you create? Because the preset response is too fast. Yes, that's a setting that you can change on how fast it will move to the presets and stuff like that. That is a setting inside of the menu. So this isn't the AVCam's one, but they're all the same from a setting standpoint. Did I? Hold on. I changed my IP address on my camera. So this is an A video one, but it's the same type of thing. So inside of here, get out of here. No. So if we go here to configuration, and where is it at? It was a speed one. I'm trying to remember. Excuse me for yawning. I might have to do it from the menu. Yeah, I think it's a setting directly in the menu that can do it. But all of these have one. Like on my controller, I have like a speed. And if you go through the menu, now let me actually do this. We'll use the PTZ Optics app the same way I was talking about. So we're going to turn on the monitor link. We're going to turn on advanced so we get all the menus. And I need to set up the IP addresses because I changed it. And yeah, this is when I had 3 cameras and I changed those. So this should be the, forget it. I'll just change it here and update these later. That's 91. That's 92. So we'll go to number 3. Come on now. Connection refused. Cletus, what in the world? Didn't I just put that IP address in? Yeah, 91. One 2.168.0.91. Camera 3. Whatever. We'll go to the other one. So I'll go over here to this camera. This is my overhead. So if we go here, and unfortunately it won't give me a clear picture. So let's go to the menu, and it won't let me get a bigger image. That stinks. Oh, duh, AJ. Why don't you just go to the camera? All right, let's do this. So here, we're here on the menu, and I'm up here. I got my stuff showing. Hold on. See, I won't prepare for that one. Had some bills and stuff, unless somebody wants to pay my bills. But anyway, we're gonna go down here and let's go to PTZ and enter. And where's it at? Yeah, pre-zoom speed. That's one. And then, yeah, call preset speed right here. That's where you can set the speed of how fast it goes. So it's on the camera itself that you can adjust. So hopefully that makes sense. And man, I was tethered here when I tried to reach back there and undo that. Back to G. Albert. AJ, do you have videos to show how to use ProPresenter in Bible study, Sunday school, worship service? I'm using NDI to display scriptures from Chrome, just looking at growing. No, the only thing I really have is just like my actual church service, how I'm actually doing it in our Bible study. That's the only way I have it. I don't have one that just specifically shows that out. I've been meaning, and also that reminds me, I've been meaning to do a behind the scenes video in my church, but again, it gets really difficult to try and do that when, I have to jump in and get my hands on some stuff. So I am working on that. Philip Paul, hey AJ, any advice on starting on making YouTube videos? Songs you use is from YouTube Music. Honestly, the advice I have is just start. You'll as Dave from the Church Media Guy says, once you get started, you'll know the questions you need to ask to move on once you start moving. So you just hit record, put your first video up. That's the best thing. Good morning. No, I'm late, but I am about to purchase your new OBS bundle. Are the install methods the same as the first bundle? Yeah, it's a little bit simpler, but yes, it is. And thank you for that. If it's not showing just for that camera, yeah, I don't know. I would try and switch the input from that camera to another HDMI input and switch the other one back. And if say this camera is in input number 3 and it's not working, put it in input number 2. Does it show up? We just want to isolate where the problem is. Is it the input? Is it the converter? Is it the cable? Or is it the camera? At this point, it might just be the input, but I don't know. Herman. So is the short throw rear one better? We have a high ceiling at the church, and it's about $250 to rent the cherry picker lift each time. So is the short throw rear one better? I mean, it all depends. Without me seeing it's kind of hard for me to guess. If you could email me at questions@ajhomes.com, and if you could take a picture of it, at least it'll help me get a better idea of that. Be able to answer something like that. Back to Jackie. My church is trying to get off of Facebook and YouTube, so I'm trying to figure out which other interactive platform does churches use. We have Vimeo, so I'm looking for other suggestions. Yeah, unfortunately, at this point, all these platforms, I remember saying this a long time ago, so Jackie, this isn't you. I remember when I first started doing this, I was saying, get on here, because sooner or later, it's going to get to a point where you're not going to have a choice, because they're going to start locking stuff down and doing stuff. We're almost at that point. So when I get some more time, I'm going to finish rebuilding my own cast server and start working on that and try and find some economical ways, because there are other platforms that people have told me about that aren't as costly monthly to run your own stuff. I really feel that's going to be the next thing going there. Daniel. Hey, how do you split output from one laptop to the main screen and the stage showing different screens? You have to have 2 separate outputs. If your laptop does not support it, you can always get a USB to HDMI adapter, and that will give you another output. You can get those from Amazon for like $15. That would be the best thing. And then Daniel also said, I'm looking to build a solid team. I work with a number of good guys, but they don't have deep knowledge in what they do in the media ministry. How can I go about that? You need to be the example. Start with you. It's easier to pull a wet noodle than to push a wet noodle, if you understand that, meaning that the leader sets the pace of the group, meaning that you can't expect everybody, no one is ever going to be able to do the same stuff that you're doing because they have to have the same ambitions, the same life experience, the same mentality, the same focus of you. No one is ever going to be able to clone that. And you wouldn't want anybody. You want the people to be uniquely them. But to build a team, first set the example. That's why I always say with me, I was doing this when nobody was watching. I set myself on fire and invited everybody to watch. For a long time, I was watching myself until people started coming around. So if you want to build a team, you need to show confidence to where people are like, I want to hitch my wagon to you because that guy's going somewhere. He has a focus. He's doing something that I don't see anybody else doing. That's the thing. And then be comfortable with whatever level people get. We need to have realistic expectations of people that it's nothing like a coach. I like to encourage people to move on, but at the same time, I'm not demanding, and I don't really want to be disappointed because they don't live up to my standards because I can't put standards on anybody else. So again, my mindset is you want to develop a good team, start with you. Work on you to where you develop a magnetic personality. You develop the skills. You're confident in what you're doing to where people are like, man, you are such an artist in what you're doing. Man, I want to get around you. Again, it's hard for me to say this, but that's kind of what people have told me about why do y'all gravitate to what I do. You know, there's tons of other people that talk about this, but there's a reason why y'all watch me. And again, I didn't do what I did to win, as nice as I can say this. I didn't do what I did to win y'all. I did this so that God is happy with what I'm doing. And then I was told, for me, God said, focus on what I'm telling you to do, and I'll bring the people to you. So that was that. I focused on me. I focused on me learning and become the best that I can and skillful in this season of what I'm supposed to be working in. And that's how it worked for me. So that's all I can talk about because I've tried to get teams. I've encouraged people with money. I've tried this, and that did not work. I like to work with people that have a passion for what they're doing and they want to hitch their wagon to the mission that I have. So that's how it worked for me. And I think we've reached the limit of what we got. We ain't got no other questions here. So, folks, I want to thank you so much. And I'm getting ready to sneeze. Ooh, excuse me. Thank you so much. I want to give a big shout out to my Patreon supporters and YouTube members. You too can become a Patreon supporter by going to patreon.com/AJaytheCEO, or you can click the join button down below to become a YouTube member. We give different benefits to all of them. Normally, y'all get access to our Zoom roundtables that we have every other week. Last week, we talked about some interesting stuff. That's why it was not posted, but technically, I always do that. I also give a big, when we do giveaways, we add multiple people who are YouTube and Patreon supporters. We list them twice, so they have 2 times a chance to win stuff. That's my way of giving back. Also, certain tiers, they get discount codes so they can do free consultations with me once a month at certain levels. And things like that. And we're just working on doing some other stuff. Now that we have our podcast, I'm probably going to start releasing that to members early once we start getting some more stuff and kind of put it in a position to where any of those Patreon supporters, YouTube members might be featured as people I bring on as guests for us to talk and be featured in my podcast. So that's what we got. And what else? Don't forget the giveaway. Every time we hit 10,000 new subscribers, we're going to be doing a giveaway. We are at 55,000. We're close to 56,000. We're 400 away from that. Once we get to 60,000, we're going to be doing another giveaway. If you are not there, it should be in the description. But if not, this is the link to enter into that giveaway. You only need to be entered once. If you've won the giveaway, there is a 90-day wait before you can be entered again to win anything again, just to make it fair to everybody else. Really excited about vacation is coming up. Really excited. We got 20 people going on the Liberty of the Seas emissionary cruise, April 24th through the 28th. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I need a vacation. So we got that. We're gonna have tons of videos. We ain't doing no teaching and stuff like that. It's just gonna be hanging out. This is something I want to set up for every year as best as possible. It's not always gonna be a cruise, but it's going to be a time where we can get away, meet a bunch of us that we're just talking, texting back and forth on, Facebook, YouTube, and stuff like that. It's just something that I wanted to put together. I'm really excited about that. But again, thank you for everything that you're doing, folks. I'm not a part of your ministry locally, but I want to thank you for all the hard work that you're doing, because I know sometimes what we do is a thankless job, but I want to take this moment to thank you for what you're doing, because what you're doing is helping my ministry, and more importantly, it's helping the body of Christ. It's not meant for you or me to reach everyone. It is meant for us to reach everyone. So I thank you for all your contributions, what you're doing, those long nights, those dedication to watching YouTube University, learning other stuff, trying and testing out, using your own money to get stuff. And again, thank you so much. So I hope y'all have a great day, evening, afternoon, wherever you is, and we'll be seeing y'all in the next video, folks. Later.